Hi, my name is Brad.
I'm Matt.
We play guitar and bass and sing in the band Blood and Water, and we're going to answer some questions.
I'm so sick of relying on anyone but myself to get.
Formed probably around 2002, I'd say. We actually started as a ska band, like with horns and everything like that, but as the years went by, members left the band and things kind of changed, and here we are now, 8 years later. We've only really been playing seriously for about 3 of those years, but here we are now as a band, like 4-piece with no horns, and we don't really sound very ska, but somehow we're still kind of pigeonholed into that little niche. But the name Blood and Water actually came from there's a verse in the Bible, John 19:34, where Jesus was pierced and blood and water flowed out. I remember when we were thinking of a name, I remember sitting there we were at Chevy's, and I was probably 14, we were talking to my dad. My dad's a pastor, our dad's a pastor, we're brothers. We were kind of thinking of the most, like, a Christian name that would be, like, super brutal and super, like, edgy, and Blood and Water, like, had to be so raw. You know, like, we wanted to be, like, a metal band back then, like some fusion of, like, screamo and ska, and well, that didn't work out, so here we are now with a name that sounds really edgy, and most of the time people come to our shows still thinking we're a screamo band, so that's okay.
Well, I go to Bethany University in Scotts Valley, and this guy goes to San Jose State and is a comm major, communications, not a communist major. Our other guitarist, Matt, plays a ton of video games, I think does an online college. And we don't really have a drummer at this point. We have about 4 or 5 people that we're working with, and they all do tons of different things.
Take it away.
Kind of effective a way to describe it. It's you take some ska and you take some funk, add a little alternative, a dash of Jimmy Eat World and a dash of Weezer, and then you get Blood and Water.
I don't like to think it's some sort of a combo. I always go with like an alt punk slash ska. Been really helpful in the development of the band. Obviously, we're still figuring out a lot of the kinks in the live show and like figuring out stuff with recording and distribution and all that kind of stuff. But just generally speaking, it's been a really pleasant experience. Eden wasn't very established when we first met them. It's kind of been a growing process where we grow and they grow with us, and they grow and we match them. And it's a really cool symbiotic relationship.
In character, and well, as far as I go, some tracks that I'm most proud of, I'd have to say McGee and Me, Sleep It Off, and what's just a real gem? Yeah, Secondhand, because it has a sweet breakdown where it's just basking in the sheer rock and roll of.
Okay. As far as like challenges, I think that we faced, we recorded half the album, or some of the stuff with this guy Masaki. And Masaki's really cool. He produced Fire and Frenzy and everything like that. And then we worked with a really good friend of ours, Aaron Madsen, who produced our last record, and that was really cool too. And I think the difficulty was bouncing between studios and learning how to keep things like compatible between different operating systems on this hard drive as we bounced between one Pro Tools and Pro Tools HD and Pro Tools LE, and it was all these technical things, and in the end it turned out okay. We're pretty happy with the record. So
again, it's pretty hard in the middle of the album. You don't really know when you're going to be done. It's easy to lose hope and feel like you're not moving we're not getting forward, but that was, at least for me, that was the challenge, because there'd be times where we wouldn't be in the studio for a couple weeks, and it would just be kind of, okay, where are we headed?
Well, there were times when you weren't in the studio for a couple weeks. I wasn't ever seeing it. But it's pretty brutal, I'm not going to lie. There's an influence in our music. We're all Christians, and that definitely plays a big part in our music. We sometimes aren't sure how to classify ourselves, because naturally we want to say that we're a Christian band because we're Christians and we sing about. I feel like our songs are very much based around like a testimony, and that's whether that testimony of our lives is singing about like stuff that's going on with relationships or family issues or just growing up, or whatever. It all kind of reflects where we are with the Lord and everything like that. But then I feel like we definitely don't fit in necessarily in the Christian band market necessarily with. I don't know. Sometimes we feel out of place when we play some of those shows, and folks don't always know how to categorize us, And I love Reliant K, and I feel like that's kind of a go-to band. People are like, oh, they have harmonies. They kind of sound like Reliant K. They're like a Reliant K Junior, and I don't feel like that truly encompasses us, but definitely being a Christian influences every aspect of our lives and music. So.
It was a funny encounter. I don't think we've ever really had that problem wherever we've been.
People have been really cool.
Yeah, I mean, most bands, I don't think we've really run into any bands that have just been rude or anything. Every band we meet, they're just all really kind people and really friendly guys, and no one's ever said anything negative about being a Christian band to us, at least that we've heard. So, tomato, tomato. You say tomato, I say tomato mortis.
That makes perfect sense. Oh no, yeah. I feel like even when we come across bands that might believe the total opposite of what we believe, or are moving in an opposite direction, a lot of times there's a lot of respect for what we're singing about. Because I feel like ultimately, a lot of the bands and the message that everybody's promoting as far as like positive elements in the world, I feel like everybody generally wants the same thing as far as like the message that they're singing about, but I feel like they don't always know what the answer to that question is, if that makes sense. And so anyway, I mean that's kind of been what we've encountered. You know what I mean? We've always been open about what we're about, and people have always seemed to be pretty accepting of it. I totally consider this band a ministry. God's done some really cool things in our lives, and I feel like in we've had kids that have approached us at shows, and the Lord's used just a small line in one of our songs or something to minister to somebody. And it's normally not something that you would anticipate or expect. Oh, here's Matty T.
Matty Tread.
This is Matt Tread. Matt Tread plays guitar in the band as well. We're just talking about considering the band a ministry. What do you think?
Yes, I would. The band is definitely a ministry. I don't know if it's what you call a conventional ministry, but anyway, that's totally what we're out here for, and we all have a passion for music, we all have a passion for Christ, and we just want to share His love with the world through our music.
We've actually had some cool experiences where a couple folks that are now friends of ours have actually come to the Lord. I wouldn't necessarily say that through a show that we play, because I feel like God is doing so much more than just having a Christian band play a fun rock show. But I feel like I know that there have been kids of shows that have come to the Lord through one thing or another, and we've been able to be there to witness and to be a part of that. It's really awesome.
And like Brett was saying, it's not always through our music, and it's not usually through our music that we know it. Most of the times it's relationships that we make, through playing shows. We'll meet people after, and we get the opportunity to share with them and share with them. So.
Yeah. And it's been really cool. Like I said, a lot of these kids are really open to stuff, and you know what I mean? And they'll be talking, about stuff and talking about what's going on in their lives, and that gives us an opportunity to talk about what's going on in our lives, and then that then opens doors to be able to just kind of share what God's done in our lives to help us through certain issues that maybe they're going through themselves. As far as future plans, we really are just blessed to be doing what we're doing, and we love to be able to go and hit the road, friends of ours, and be playing as long as we can, and
Whatever God has.
Yeah, we want to take this as far as God wants us to take it, and as long as He keeps blessing us in what we're doing, we're going to keep doing it.
And as far as side bands, the side projects of the band go, Matty T and I are starting a white rap group called
my bad.
Rap Group.
White chocolate?
No, not white chocolate.
What's it called?
It's called Mad to the Second Power.
M squared, yeah. I forgot.
Our CX is not even a real band yet.
Okay, that's in conception right
So look
now.
for that, 2011.
I hadn't even heard about this.
I actually had.
I'm actually starting a boy band with my good friend Derek Booth. You can follow him at Captain Booth at his Twitter account. We're starting a boy band called Priority Mail. It's actually a secret, so if you hear this, don't tell anyone. It's going to be huge.
It's still trying so hard. It's just feeling every time for the price. And I'm done.
It's been he's changed my life. I'll say that.
I go as far as to say is I love him. But
Love Jesus.
Love Jesus. You heard it first.
Advice I would give is work out every day, find a good multivitamin, read your Bible, watch Chuck, it's a fantastic show. I'll play a video game. Visit your grandparents on Christmas.
Do something cool.
But as far as bands go, and by scene I imagine you're talking about, I'm going to say be open-minded, because right now I feel like a lot of the scenes that we find are very one genre. It's very not open to other types of music and bands. And so just feel free to experiment with stuff, because we have a lot of fun experimenting with ska and alt punk, and most kids that we play for don't really know what to do with our music. And sometimes it's kind of rough, but we have fun with it. So
and be excellent.
be excellent to each other.
Yeah.
We live in the Bay Area.
Jack Sharp, I'd like to be a big one.
Jack Sharp.
Yeah.
Frankie C and Rick as well.
Yeah, they have just been an invaluable asset to this band, and I don't know what we'll do. Eden Records, James and James,
Aaron Madsen. If you live in the Bay Area and you're in a band, check out Madhouse Studios. I actually work as a tech there, and it's a lot of fun. And it's affordable recordings for cheap. Affordable recordings, high quality,
low cost.
high quality recordings at low cost. That's what I'm saying. But thanks for hanging out with us. We're blowing water.